The Zarnak invasion began like a sudden storm. Without warning, massive alien ships appeared in the sky, blotting out the sun over major cities around the world. People looked up in awe and terror, unsure of what was happening. The Zarnak, a race known for their ruthless conquests and advanced technology, had arrived on Earth, and their intentions were clear: total domination. In the bustling metropolis of New York City, chaos erupted, sirens wailed, and people ran in every direction, seeking shelter from the unknown threat. The skyline, once a symbol of human achievement, now stood in the shadow of towering alien vessels. Commander Thrak, the leader of the Zarnak invasion fleet, surveyed the scene from his command post aboard the mothership. To him, Earth was just another planet to be harvested for resources. The humans, with their primitive technology, posed no real threat. "Begin the assault," Thrak ordered, his voice cold and devoid of emotion. Instantly, the Zarnak ships opened fire, their energy weapons reducing buildings to rubble and causing widespread destruction. The invasion was swift and brutal, designed to break the spirit of humanity before they could mount any resistance. Amidst the chaos, a small group of survivors gathered in the basement of a crumbling office building. Among them was Captain Sarah Mitchell, a former military strategist who had seen her share of battles. Sarah quickly took charge, organizing the frightened civilians and formulating a plan to escape the city. Her calm demeanor and decisive actions brought a semblance of order to the panicked group. "We need to get out of here and find somewhere safe," Sarah said, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. "The Zarnak won't stop until they've taken everything, but we won't go down without a fight." As the group moved through the ruined city, Sarah couldn't help but think about her family, who were in another part of the country. She had to believe they were safe and that she would see them again. For now, her focus was on survival and finding a way to strike back against the invaders. The night was filled with the sounds of destruction and the cries of the wounded. Yet, within the human spirit, a spark of resistance began to grow. They were outmatched and outgunned, but Sarah knew that humanity had one thing the Zarnak did not: an unyielding will to survive. The resistance grew stronger with each passing day. Sarah Mitchell's group had managed to escape the city, finding refuge in an old, abandoned military bunker hidden deep in the mountains. It was a cold, dark place, but it offered safety and a base from which they could plan their next moves. Inside the bunker, Sarah sat at a makeshift command center surrounded by maps, blueprints, and computer screens displaying intercepted Zarnak communications. The small team of survivors, now organized into a functional resistance group, worked tirelessly to analyze the alien technology and find any weaknesses. "We've found something," said Dr. Alan Parker, a former NASA engineer who had joined their cause. He pointed to a schematic of a Zarnak drone. "Their energy shields are vulnerable to high-frequency electromagnetic pulses. If we can generate a strong enough EMP, we could disable their shields and make them vulnerable to our attacks." Sarah's eyes lit up with a glimmer of hope. "That's it. That's our chance," she said. "We need to build an EMP device, something portable that we can use against their ground forces and maybe even their ships." The group set to work, scavenging parts from the bunker and whatever they could find in the surrounding areas. The days were long and filled with tension, but the sense of purpose kept everyone's spirits high. As they worked, Sarah couldn't help but think about the people they had lost and the world that was slipping away. She knew they had to act fast. One evening, while the team was working late, they received an unexpected transmission. It was from another resistance group operating out of Europe. They had heard of Sarah's group and wanted to coordinate efforts. The message brought a wave of renewed energy and determination. "You're not alone," the message said. "Together, we can fight back." With this new alliance, Sarah's team shared their plans and resources, creating a network of resistance groups working towards a common goal. The EMP device was nearing completion, and Sarah knew it was time to take the fight to the Zarnak. "Tomorrow we strike back," Sarah announced to her team. "We hit their supply lines, their patrols, and any targets of opportunity. We show them that humanity is not so easily conquered." The next morning, the resistance moved out, carrying the EMP device and a fierce determination. They knew the risks, but they also knew what was at stake. As they approached their first target, Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself for the battle ahead. "Let's give them a fight they won't forget," she said, leading her team into the fray. The resistance moved swiftly, their plan unfolding with military precision. Sarah and her team approached the Zarnak supply depot, a critical target nestled in a valley, guarded by alien patrols. The air was tense with anticipation as they set up the EMP device on a ridge overlooking the depot. "All units, check in," Sarah whispered into her comms. One by one, her team confirmed their positions. Dr. Parker gave a final nod, signaling the device was ready. They had one chance to make this work. "EMP ready in 3, 2, 1. Parker activated the device. A pulse of energy rippled out, invisible but powerful, and within moments, the alien machinery began to falter. Shields flickered and died, drones crashed to the ground, and the depot's defenses went offline. "Go! Go! Go!" Sarah shouted. The resistance fighters charged down the ridge, weapons at the ready. The Zarnak, caught off guard, scrambled to respond. Sarah led the charge, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. Explosions rocked the depot as the resistance planted charges and took out key targets. The element of surprise was their greatest weapon, and they used it to devastating effect. Sarah moved through the chaos, taking down aliens with precise shots. Her mind focused on one goal: to send a message that humanity would not be conquered. As the battle raged, a sudden roar filled the air. Above them, a massive Zarnak warship descended, its weapons aiming directly at the resistance fighters. Panic threatened to set in, but Sarah held her ground. "Everyone, fall back to the extraction point," she ordered. The team began to retreat, but the warship's weapons fired, and the ground shook with the impact. Sarah was thrown to the ground, her vision blurred. For a moment, everything seemed lost. But then a new sound reached her ears, the unmistakable roar of human fighter jets. Reinforcements had arrived. The jets swooped in, launching missiles at the warship, forcing it to retreat. Sarah struggled to her feet, watching in awe as the tide of battle turned. "We did it," she murmured, a smile breaking through her exhaustion. The resistance regrouped at the extraction point, weary but victorious. They had dealt a significant blow to the Zarnak, proving that humanity was far from defeated. As they returned to the bunker, the news of their success spread through the network of resistance groups, igniting hope across the globe. That night, as Sarah sat by a small campfire, she allowed herself a moment of quiet reflection. The fight was far from over, but they had shown the Zarnak that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. "We're not done yet," she whispered to herself, a steely resolve settling in her heart. Not by a long shot. The Resistance's victory at the supply depot marked a turning point. News of their success spread like wildfire, inspiring other groups to rise up and join the fight. Sarah knew they had to capitalize on this momentum. The Zarnak were regrouping, but so was humanity. Days turned into weeks as the resistance planned their next move. The ultimate goal was clear: take down the Zarnak mothership. It was the heart of their invasion force and the key to crippling their operations on Earth. Dr. Parker had been working tirelessly, analyzing the data from the captured Zarnak technology and devising a plan to infiltrate the mothership. "We've identified a weak point in their defenses," Parker explained during a strategy meeting. "There's a maintenance hatch on the underside of the ship that's less heavily guarded. If we can get a team inside, we can plant charges in their main power core." Sarah nodded, absorbing the information. "It's risky, but it's our best shot. We'll need a small, skilled team for the job. Volunteers only. The room fell silent as the weight of the mission sank in. Then, one by one, hands began to rise. Sarah felt a swell of pride. They were ready. The night of the mission, the team gathered at the launch site. They would use a captured Zarnak shuttle to approach the mothership undetected. As they boarded, Sarah looked at each member of her team, her heart heavy with the responsibility she carried. "We're doing this for everyone we've lost," she said, her voice firm. "For everyone still fighting. Let's make it count." The shuttle launch was smooth, and they navigated through the dark, star-filled sky toward the looming shape of the Zarnak mothership. Tension was thick as they approached the maintenance hatch. The shuttle docked, and the team moved quickly, breaching the hatch and slipping inside. The interior of the mothership was a maze of corridors and alien technology. The team moved with practiced precision, avoiding patrols and disabling security systems. Parker led the way, guiding them to the power core. As they reached their destination, alarms suddenly blared. They had been discovered. Sarah's heart pounded as they worked frantically to plant the charges. The Zarnak soldiers closed in, and a fierce firefight erupted. "Just a few more seconds," Parker shouted over the noise. "Cover him," Sarah ordered, firing at the advancing aliens. Time seemed to stretch endlessly, but finally, Parker gave the signal. "Charges set. Let's move." They raced back to the shuttle, the countdown ticking in their minds. The ship shook as explosions rocked the mothership. They barely made it to the shuttle in time, launching just as the power core detonated in a blinding flash. The mothership was engulfed in flames, breaking apart in the sky. Cheers erupted from the team, but the victory was bittersweet. Not everyone had made it back. As they returned to Earth, the sky was filled with the debris of the fallen Zarnak mothership. The remaining alien forces, now leaderless and disorganized, began to retreat. Humanity had won the battle, but the cost had been high. Back at the bunker, Sarah addressed the resistance and the newly liberated cities. "We've shown the Zarnak that humanity cannot be conquered. We will rebuild, we will remember those we've lost, and we will be ready for whatever comes next." The world began to heal, united by the struggle they had endured and the hope that had carried them through. The fight was far from over, but for the first time in a long while, there was a future to look forward to. Subscribe to watch more amazing sci-fi stories.